Great to see you again, Joe. Last interview was 4 months ago on the 20th of September. Back then, you had made. Do you remember how much it was? It was around 60K, right? In
Yeah,
through the real
yeah.
world. So that was 4 months ago, and now you're back. You said you have some stuff to talk about for a follow-up interview, so we'll be interested in diving into that. First, let's begin with how are you, Joe? How is everything going for you?
Super well. The progress has just been exponentially getting higher and higher, and all thanks to the real world, of course. And I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to share what I've done, what I'm planning to do, and yeah, just super happy to be here.
Okay, so let's say after we got off the interview 4 months ago, what new updates actually happened? If you remember in chronological order, that probably would be best way to lay it out.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure if it was around the first interview or not, but I went to London. I filmed my first IRL podcast, so I got invited by a popular influencer in the editing space. He invited me out. I went to his town. He's part of London, and we filmed the podcast. It was super cool. Everything was amazing. London was great, and shortly after that, I began exponentially just trying to get more clients, trying to get more sales in, trying to get more project in, and I think it was around a month or two after our interview that I got the chance to be interviewed by Tristan Tate also, which was a huge pleasure all around. And Tristan was super respectful, super nice. I have no idea why some people think he's disrespectful or anything. It's completely the opposite, and which was a huge dream come true for me. And yeah, I was super happy to experience that also. And around the end of December, I closed my biggest deal yet. So last time we spoke, I had done 360 videos in 1 month, and now it's 2,000 videos in approximately 1 to 2 months.
Mhm. And in terms of income, how much did are you? How much did it scale, and how did it come about that you needed to do 2,000 when you had done 360 before? Because that's quite a big increase.
Yeah, it's a big rise in terms of how many videos have to be done, and the deadline is still pretty much the same, 1 to 2 months. So after I was done with the 360 videos, my client came to the conclusion of, why are we hiring other freelancers? Why don't we just stick with Ja, give him everything we have, and Ja will handle it? And I guess they pretty much tested me before that. They gave me about 250 videos to do in pretty much the 1 to 2 month deadline again. And they said, try finding some people. Try, if you know any contacts, try finding some people and hire a team and see how it goes if you can't manage all the videos by yourself. So I did exactly that. I had worked with some G's from the real world, and I knew they were professional, very uh, very good in terms of video editing skills and communication, etc. I hired them. They did an amazing job. They got paid well, and I guess I passed the test. And after that, they announced that, yeah, hey, we have 2,000 more videos to go, and do you wanna edit them? And of course, I accepted.
So I couldn't really imagine editing 2,000 videos in like 1 to 2 months. So how are you actually planning to get it done?
Yeah, so it took me a while to actually understand the sheer amount of videos that have to be done. Since like I'm used to like 200, 300, like that's like I can imagine the amount, like 300 videos. Okay, cool. But 2000, it's a big rise. So the first thing I of course realized, like, I can't do this by myself. I can't do it, since like I was struggling with the 360 videos. but that was before. I guess I should manage better now, but I'm not taking the chance. So I reached out, found a killer team, tested them out, had them do some test videos, and they proved out to be very professional, very good. And a big thing they told me to, which really sold it for me, they looked at the material, looked at the test videos, and said we can provide you 60 videos a day. So I was really impressed by that. I think they have a team of about 4 to 6 people. So there's a manager and about 5 to 6 editors. And yeah, 60 videos a day. It's about the 1 month mark, but I'm keeping it at the 1 month to 2 month period since, of course, revisions come up. There can be some issues, so it's good to expect some latency.
Yep. Because how do you actually QA test that many videos? Like, do you do QAs or do you just trust that they're good?
Yeah, so at the beginning, I just trusted them to. When I worked with my previous team, I just trusted them since I had seen their work. But since this is a new team, I had to be thorough. I had to test them properly. I had to ask for previous experience, and they pretty much matched the requirements I had set for them. Since they had worked with multiple videos a day, like in the tens or even hundreds a day, and I of course tested them, gave them, I think it was 10 or 12 scripts to make videos out of, and I pretty much held a timer to see like how fast can they work. Of course, I gave them some mercy, I guess, since it's their first time doing it, but nonetheless, they performed really well, and they held up to the time expectation they gave me, and yeah, I'm really excited to be working with them.
Okay. So again, since the offering you, well, not offering, since the requiring 2,000 videos, what are they actually paying for that?
Yeah, so currently the number is at 84 to 90,000 euros. It's still, since the scripts are still in development and we're looking at them right now. So since the scripts I gave to the editors, they can vary from the actual scripts that are coming out, but they're pretty much the same. So we're still in, I guess, negotiations, but it's looking at that 86 to 90k mark. And if it's done in 1 month, that's a pretty good monthly income.
Yeah, indeed it is. And then if you consistently do 2,000 every month, if you somehow
Yeah,
find the way to do that, then that's a millionaire in
that's
money.
yeah, it's pretty good for an 18-year-old.
Yeah, indeed. I would say so. So, I can't remember if I asked in last interview for the type of edits you're actually making. Like, what are they requiring you to do? What is the niche they're in, and any
Yeah,
details on that?
yeah. So it's pretty similar to the real world. So it's an educational platform based purely online. So yeah, we provide them with course material, any ads they might need, marketing stuff, etc. But now with the 2000 videos, we're solely focusing on course material. So I can't really describe the style of it. It's very simple. I like, you would be surprised if I showed some examples of like what kind of videos we need done. They're very simple. Like, I'd say an editor with 6 months to 1 year of experience can produce videos like that, but it's not the requirements of the video, it's the amount. So 2000 videos, that's a lot. And I can say from personal experience, when I did them myself, it's not the video itself isn't bad. It's about repeating it 2000 times, and there's always some hiccups. a project might get lost, the script is wrong, some errors, revisions, stuff like this. So it can be a headache if done improperly. But thankfully, I've went through enough mistakes on my end to make sure my team doesn't have to go through the same struggles that I did.
And I can imagine every second that's not a mistake is made, but if there are any kind of issues, then every second adds up. Like every second repeated on each video ends up being quite a bit of time when repeated
Yeah,
2,000 times.
exactly. It compounds. So if we notice one mistake in one video, we have to be super fast, super quick to get started with the revision process as a whole to make sure, like, okay, if this script had this error, we make sure there's no mistakes on the future videos. So yeah, and I had some instances where my former team did not pick up on that, but that's on me, of course, since like I have to explain that whole process. So they failed to see some mistakes that I guess me and they should have known can be repeated in the future. So when the revision process started and I started telling them like, hey, what's with this mistake? It's been repeated over 10, 12 times. And they say like, oh, I didn't even think about this. And it's like one typo. So like even the smallest mistake, like it can compound. And especially when we're working with 2000, mistakes come up constantly. So like the small details, we have to be super, super precise in how we look at the material.
Yep. Okay, that was a lot of questions regarding the 2,000 videos. So let me step back a bit and ask for yourself, for mental development, physical, I don't know, spiritual, if you want to include that. Have there been any changes in those 4 months?
Oh, 100%. And especially with me diving even more into the culture of the real world, joining the council, and yeah, it's been 100% an improvement on every aspect. So I've become much more physically capable. I'm in better shape, bigger muscles. I feel better in every sense, and yeah, I just have that mental clarity now. So when I look back at the 4 months, I can like pinpoint exact things that I did that I guess I don't do anymore or have learned to avoid. Since like my routine 4 months ago was pretty strict. I woke up at like 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. every day, and I tried to keep the routine pretty much as pretty much every day was the same. I repeated the same task over and over again because I was still doing the videos myself. But of course, now that I've taken a step back into more of like a manager role, I have to focus on some more important things like securing future contracts for us, doing outreach, lead magnets, etc. So I had to alter my routine a bit, and the real world has come in such a big aid for that. So there's people who have experience in fitness who have taught me like, okay, cool, you can if you have a busy day, you can train at home. I have my home gym equipment there. I can do some press ups and train my back a bit, and especially in mental clarity, it's been a huge help, especially with the new fitness campus. They get constant updates on the fitness campus, and especially diet, since I my eating patterns were a bit bad 4 months ago. I ate whatever I could, but now it's more optimized.
Mhm. Okay, so much more mental clarity, I'd imagine. Uh, and that's quite something. Again, 18-year-old already made over six figures in that case. Were there any other projects you worked on, or was that the main one with the 2,000 videos?
Yeah, so I started work on I guess moving from a video editor into more of like a video marketer, since of course if I just stick as a video editor, I can of course succeed in that, but I wish to become a marketer. I wish to know more about video marketing. So I've taken the beginning steps of becoming an actual video marketer, and of course implementing some of those lessons I've learned inside the real world into my main client. So on top of the 2000 project, I could have some marketing jobs. I could do some automations for them, etc. And yeah, all that knowledge has come from the real world. So huge thanks to every single professor, every single course material I've watched, and yeah, it's all been hugely beneficial.
Amazing. Do explain a bit more for the automation side that you just mentioned. What could you actually do to automate?
Yeah. So as you know, the real world launched an automation course for AI, and what they currently have focused on, and what I have focused on, is more of the automating the small tasks. Especially, it comes very well with this 2000 video project, because there could be some, we need to name some projects, we need to transfer some files, etc. So automating that entire process will save huge amounts of money, and especially since we use AI to create the audio, we can take every script, put them into 11 labs, automate that entire process. We don't have to hire anyone to do that again. And yeah, so currently I'm focusing on just automating the small tasks that I need to stay as fast as possible with this 2000 video project, and also automate possible outreaches to new clients. So yeah, and I'm still very much a novice when it comes to AI, but I can say AI is most definitely the future. If you can implement AI into pretty much any business, you will skyrocket your progress, because it's not as much replacing humans, but it's more of like a tool you can use to enhance everything you do.
Mhm. And now, some more personal questions. How would you define success for yourself?
I guess success is you wake up each day, you know what you're doing is beneficial to you, your network, your community, your parents, your circle, I guess. Whatever you're doing is positive. You wake up in the morning with excitement. You're not bored. You don't want to go back to bed. You're excited to tackle new challenges. And I can even, I'm 2 years in and I feel like I have made it, in the sense of I know what I'm doing is what I will be doing for the next 40 or 50 years of my life, which is scaling up my business, helping people, helping my parents, and just trying to grow in every metric. So, what do I mean by, I guess, making it would be you just wake up with purpose, and that purpose is beneficial to society.
Quite an answer. And this question is a bit of a cliche, but do you wish you would have had some any kind of advice earlier? So something you know now that you wish you would have known before.
At one point, I think I wanted advice, since as a beginner, I always thought like, oh, I need every bit of advice. But now when I look back at some of the mistakes I've done because I hadn't learned this particular thing, or didn't know this, so I made the foolish mistake, and like it's all compounded into the version of me that I am currently. So I see no point in going back and I guess rewriting some things, since every mistake I did previously has compounded into the young man I am today. So yeah, I take full pride in the mistakes I've done. I take full pride in the successes I've done, the business deals I've closed, the business deals I haven't closed, and yeah, I'm happy with every single bit of that. And I'm of course trying to improve in every metric. So like, it's not that I made a mistake and like, oh, it's cool, it's for my development. No, I try to improve every single day.
Mhm. Okay, okay. I would have answered that the same way. That's why I said a bit of a cliche question. Let me see if I can rephrase. So, someone else around your age, they're in a similar position to you. What what kind of advice would you give them that you know now that you didn't know before that you think would be beneficial to that 16 to 18-year old?
Yeah, so 16. Yeah, so if I had to, I guess, revert time and like think of like me when I was starting out, what would I say to him? Like, I mean, community is of course the biggest thing. Without me joining the real world and the council, I would have searched for answers for much longer than I did. So, of course, joining a good community, finding people you can actually relate to, finding people you can learn from, being, I guess, at the first stages of joining any community, you're the underdog basically. So it's your task to learn, take in as much info as you can, try to be as helpful as you can, do some tasks for people, be helpful, be beneficial. Don't just take everything for granted. Try to reach every bit of info since people don't like that. And yeah, what would I give as advice? I would just say listen, learn to, I guess, appreciate you not knowing things, because that's, you don't have to be angry with yourself because you don't know stuff. So as long as you keep learning, you keep doing what you think is best, and keep trying to be positive, be a positive impact to any community you're a part of, be it the real world, war room, etc. And yeah, just try to learn as much as you can and be positive while learning and implementing what you've learned.
Okay. That should have been my question from the start. So that's what I was looking for. So thank you for that. And
Yep.
since you mentioned the mistakes previously in the previous question, uh, do any come to mind? Do any mistakes come to mind which ended up being valuable experiences that you could talk about now?
Yeah, so countless mistakes come to mind, but I guess the biggest ones relate to sales, of course, and sales calls, how I negotiated deals, etc. I noticed some things like, oh, I should have asked for more on this, since like I guess I was doing it out of pity, or oh, I should have negotiated more since like this lead was warming up, but then I just gave up for no reason. I should have kept going, and yeah, I guess if I had to combine everything, it's just, I guess, either me not noticing something or me not just trying enough. So especially with outreach, people think like, oh, I don't want to intrude, I don't want to intrude on their space, I don't want to be a bother to anyone, but people are busy, so you have to actually grab your attention, grab the client's prospects attention and take it, and like once you have it, be valuable enough that the prospect actually wants to speak with you. But yeah, I mean, I haven't done any massive mistakes, but I guess I'm sure I have missed some 5-figure or even 6-figure deals just by not being, what's the word, tenacious enough. So not trying enough.
Okay, very interesting. Uh, and I realized I didn't ask this earlier. So, since joining the real world, in total now, how much have you actually made in income,
So it's a
including?
bit hazy now, but including everything, I would have to say, I guess if you include this new deal, it's close to 200,000 to 250K. And in what, 2 years, almost 2.5 years, that's a pretty good investment in my opinion. If you spend $50 each month, that's it's a pretty good investment on my end.
And again, as an 18-year-old, where to earn that kind of money, I wonder if Tristan said the same thing. Like, if you go to university and you study for I don't know how many years, to then get a high-end job, and then even then you need to work maybe another 10 to 15 years until all the salary adds up, and then probably at that point you'll be making what you're making now, which is pretty insane.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not impossible. You can go into um, mm, I guess sales jobs would be the first to come to mind, but those require, of course, they require immense skill. But yeah, if I would have stayed an electrician like I had in school, it would take me 10 years to get to this level. So yeah, I'm very happy with joining the real world.
Amazing. And are you able to talk about the other projects you have? Since in total you said about 200 to 250, and before in our past interview you had made 60K, now somewhere between 85 to 90. So there's still some chunk there that we haven't spoke about. Is that something
Yeah.
again you'd be comfortable speaking of, or do we leave that for future?
We can leave that in the future, but yeah, it mainly has come from, of course, video editing projects. There was one big project that I did that was in no relation to video creation, but I kind of keep that like as private information. But yeah, it's I can say like over 70% of my income has just come from video editing and video marketing services.
Mhm. And considering the amount you made now, what do your parents say? How did they react?
Yeah, so I like to rewind and think like what it was in the beginning. So once I first joined, my parents, of course, they were super against me dropping out of school. They were super against me like putting everything on this, putting all my eggs into the real world basket. And yeah, once I started making some money, I proved them wrong. I gave my dad some money. I gave my mom some money. Helped out with the rent bills, etc. And yeah, they quickly turned around and saw like, okay, cool. As long as my son's making some money, it's all good. And now, pretty much, they whatever I talk about, they support fully. So they, I guess, have reached the point where they say like, okay, cool. He can make his own decisions now. He's a 18-year-old. He can decide for himself. But yeah, I have not seen a negative feedback on any of my proposals, anything I say I'm going to do, I'm planning to do. And yeah, I suspect they might be a bit proud of me. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I'll have to check up on that. But yeah, I like helping my mom, especially since she's always had money issues. I like helping with rent, bills, groceries, etc. And yeah, it's been good since, like, of course they raised me, they gave me everything I had, so it's good to give back.
Amazing. Uh, I had something in mind to follow up. Will I remember? Um, right. So you've proven that they can trust you. Like with all the actions you've taken, everything you achieved now, I'm sure they have 100% trust in you. Whereas before, they would have thought, maybe he's still quite young, so maybe he needs more of our input to know what he's doing. But they've completely, I mean, again, making 200 to 250,000 as an 18-year-old. Well, at that point, you must be doing something right. So I'm sure now
Yeah,
they're comfortable
yeah, I
actually
must be.
trusting you
Yeah,
with what you're doing.
uh, yeah, I must be doing something right. But yeah, I like, if you were a parent and your son came to you and said like, yeah, I'm gonna put everything I have into this online university that teaches you how to make money, you would be like, okay, cool, let's just calm down here. But yeah, it has hugely paid off, and I'm happy that my parents have that trust in me to make my own decisions now. Even though I'm young, so it's good because I see like people my age and who say like, my dad won't allow me to do this and my mom won't allow me to do this. Like, prove them wrong. Do it and succeed.
Mhm. Do you plan on doing anything personal brand related?
So if you go to my YouTube, you can see one YouTube video currently, but I decided at what in like I think about 1 to 2 months ago that I will take a step back from branding. I will focus on getting money and getting clients in sense, especially nowadays people think like you need a personal brand to make money. You don't need a personal brand to make money. You can 100% succeed without one. So currently I'm focusing on that, getting recurring money in, finishing this project, and after that we'll see. And I most likely will be starting my own personal brand. Since, of course, the more eyes are that are on you, the more money will, of course, flow to you. But yeah, it's 100% will be done. Personal brand is 100% in the future for me.
Cool. And what do you want for your legacy now? What are you thinking?
What do I want from my? That's a big question. What do I want for my legacy as an 18-year-old? I guess. I mean, of course, I take inspiration from Tate. I take inspiration from the killers inside of the real world. So I guess my legacy would be just to help out, just to try to help out as much as I can, and to, I guess, be an extension of what the Tate brand is. So to help anyone who's struggling with income, especially young people, of course. And yeah, I just want to help as much as I can and leave a positive impact.
And for anything to add for future plans? Because last interview, I think I would have broke it down as short term, medium term, long term. What do you actually have planned? Has anything changed?
Short term, I guess, finish this project that's coming up, and I guess you can include it in short term. I will be joining the war room, so that's an investment I've been waiting for at least a year now. I'm super excited to prove myself. I'm super excited to be tested physically, mentally, psychologically, and I hope I'll be a valuable member to the community. I guess medium term, start my personal brand, scale the business to, not sure yet since the current project is still, I guess, messing up with the estimates. But at least, I think I said this before, the 25 to 50K mark a month. Since it's not so much as as like, oh, I want to make $1 million. Okay, cool. But I more chase that recurring income, since of course that's how you live a good life. And the long term, I guess, few kids. I'm still 18, so I have time to, I guess, plan this stuff. But move out, get my own place, travel the world, see like what the world is actually like, visit a few places, try to find a good place to, I guess, nest, and get a few kids and start raising them as best as I can.
Very solid. Uh, I'm sure you've heard this before, but very good mind for an 18-year-old. Much more mature than many other people your age. All right, then let's end off with same question I would have asked in the first interview. That being, since this basically began in the real world, for people who are calling it a scam for the $50, what advice would you have to them?
Yeah, so anyone calling it a scam who has $50, you can join, test it out. If it's not, you can keep calling it a scam for all you like. But I can 100% with 100% certainty say it's not a scam by any means. Join, take advantage of the best wealth creation methods out there in the world, and try it out. Join, and don't judge a book by its cover, I guess.
Well, unless you're looking at the good side of the cover, where
I
there's
mean, yeah, of course, in that
what
case,
side
but
of the cover you're looking at.
yeah,
All right,
but
cool.
yeah.
So now, for people who want to find out more about you or contact you, where could they do so?
Yeah, so I have an IG. it's hard to pronounce here, but you
In
can
the description
probably
video.
have it here. And my X is Ja Media. I've taken a step back from all social media currently since I'm focusing on my business, but I'll be sure to reply to any DMs anyone has. Same with IG. I'm always available. I'm 24/7. I guess available. I just don't post that much. So if anyone wants to reach out, call me a scammer, anything anything along those lines, I'll be sure to read those DMs. And yeah,
Okay. So yeah, those will be in the description of the video. So anyone who wants to contact can check that. And yeah, Joe, thank you for coming on for the follow-up. Been great speaking to you. Amazing progress. It'll be interesting to see in future how things continue developing for you. I'm sure once you join the War Room, that'll be quite a network for you to be in. So supercharge the progress even more. So look forward to that follow-up, and I wish you all the best.
likewise. And it's been an absolute pleasure as always. And I'm super excited to join the War Room. Can't wait. And I'll be seeing you there. But yeah,